Gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
Yo. We back in the cut. UFC 289. This is the King's Court MMA. Obasogi's back.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Indeed.
We've got Mr. Islands also in the building. APL.
Yeah.
And we've got the roving reporter, Mr. International, Mr. Worldwide, giving football absolute, like, a run for his money. Mardi. He's everywhere. I don't know where he is until I open my phone and then go on socials and then, he's in Barcelona. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. Forget where's Wally, where's Mardi?
We're international, baby. That's where the King's Court is at.
Taking over slowly but surely. Thank you as always for the support. Hit a like button, subscribe. We've looked at the statistics. So many of you are watching but are not subscribed, are not liking, but you're watching. We see you watching. We can see everything.
Creeping.
Analytics, preying, slide. Give us the love. But we're gonna get straight into it. UFC 289 taking place in Vancouver. UFC is going back to Canada. Nunes versus Aldana. Obviously, originally, I think it was Nunes Pena, wasn't it?
Yeah. What happened to her, by the way?
Broken ribs.
Ribs. She's been training hard. She can do that hard sparring, those hard rounds.
Let's be honest. After the demolition job in the second one, did we really want to see this again so soon? I mean, I didn't. I didn't want to see the third one again.
I did. I wanted to see it.
Are you forgetting what happened to her in the second fight? When she was
I clearly remember. I've seen it back again. But that's the thing. She's the only woman for me that could actually take Nunes' punches.
True.
She went down like 18 times, but she didn't get knocked out.
Yeah, but if that was boxing, the referee would have waved
it off. Exactly.
With the free knockdown rule. So I'm sorry, that was. And I again, similar to you, we watched it yesterday. And I was like, I forgot the bloody mess she was in as well. Like, she was mush. It was genuine mush. But no, I'm happy with this replacement. To be honest, I think Nunes needs fresh blood, and a new challenge. So let's go. What are we thinking? Have we been following the build up?
I haven't watched the countdown yet, or the lead up to it. So I need to watch it. Actually, I want to watch it tonight to get a grips of it. But like. I don't know, man. I don't know how you are looking at this, but anyways, you go.
I watched the countdown, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And I like Aldana. I do. And I've watched some pre-fight interviews and of both of the fighters as well. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I know we said this against every single competitor that Nunes comes against. We said it against Megan Anderson. We try to give her a bit of a push. But I actually think Aldana is the real deal.
Why? But what have you seen that's attracting you?
Her striking, her boxing specifically she actually looks like a boxer, like someone who can actually box. She's from the same gym as the flyweight champion now.
Yeah.
She's Mexican, and in the press conference, that's the answer to the question. They said, "What can you bring to the table that to stop her?" I'm Mexican. Mexican.
I saw that. I love that. I'm like straight up gangster. That's it.
Indeed.
And the whole crowd got it. She didn't even have to expand on say anymore. Mexican style. And I do like the fact that her and Grasso, it's not just a case of they're in the same gym. They were like the first two women to join that gym. So there's a story there. So like when I can't remember who was there first. I think Grasso was there first, and then Aldana came in. She's told the story. She signed the waiver form, and then Grasso saw her. I was like, I've got another girl. Like those two are connected. So I think this is the year of Viva la Mexico. To be honest, like they're taking over. They're obviously making all the right moves because they've got a PI on the way down there, and they're validating why they're getting a PI because they're just taking over. They're just becoming like what Africa was, where we just had champions on champions and champions. That was a continent. Now this is one country just eating up those belts.
Big time.
Yeah. How many did they got now? 2.
3 at the minute.
3.
Yeah, Alexa, and Moreno.
Yeah.
Moreno.
Brendan.
Yeah, he's interim though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said too. That's what I said, because I don't know why you're not counting that as
Nah,
one.
you got to count that, because they even when they're introducing, I was watching some build up to the BMF title, obviously Dustin versus Justin, and they still introduced them as former interims. You still get that introduction as you were a champion. So I think you've still got to say, yeah, 0.5 of a belt, not quite a 1.0, but a 0.5 of a belt. You got to give them that credit, because they've got.
I don't know, man. You're not crunching at straws here, but fair enough. Fair play.
The ship, interim, steady the ship.
Yeah.
When the cat's out to play.
Yeah. Fair play. Three's actually it's a solid number. You're right. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know, man. When I look at it and I look at Amanda, the only thing we can assess is like where's she at. You know what I mean? Like, even with like when we have these long title reigns, like you have Shevchenko, who now is starting to look like she's just,
ordinary. Last 2 fights, ordinary.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's either you fall off a cliff quickly or you leave on the top of the mountain. So I don't know. If you were to tell me like how do I think this goes, Amanda's obviously the clear favorite. I don't know what the betting odds are. Have you seen what it is?
Amanda's the favorite, but I'm not too sure the specific numbers. Yeah, I'm not too sure specific numbers.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, I've not seen anything. She won what's her opponent? I forget the name. Aldana. She won the last 2, no?
Yeah, she's won the last 2.
Yeah,
and the last 2 both been stoppages.
Yeah.
So I mean, that last one when she was like against Macy Chiasson, I think we watched that. I think we might have watched that together. It was that she was on the ground and it was that uphill kick to like the solar plexus,
just underneath the rib, the rib cage, and took her down. Imagine she
was on top. She was literally on top of her, about to land bomb. She kick, boom. She
finished.
Nah,
solar plexus, that body shut down. I'll never forget that, because I remember when it happened. It wasn't. You didn't see it live, did you? We all went, huh? What's going on there? Like you were on, like you said, you were on top. You were like in a dominant position, and then she just went down, and then she just crumbled, and the referee called it off. And it wasn't until the replay you were like, oh, so it wasn't even like an obvious bang. And when you watch the kick, it didn't even go in, if you know what I mean. It kind of like it was grazing, but it was enough to cause that much damage. Yeah. Some of the build up from the BT guys, they've been saying how Amanda has the power advantage. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think when you watch Irene, when you watch Irene spar, she's got some pop. And back to Marty's point, she can punch with power, and her technique is very, very good. She, all her idols are Mexican boxers, so that's obviously where she's learned, the art of fighting. And she's not too shabby on the ground either. And to be honest, she's a big girl. When I'm watching her in the build-up, I'm like, she's huge. Like she's badass. She's going around to her appointments on a motorbike, like just going around Guadalajara and Mexico on this all-black motorbike, wearing all black with the helmet, looking like she's come from the new Batman movie. Like she's just going from getting her hair done, getting her rehab done, going training. And I'm like, you know what? I quite like this chick. I don't know why, but I'm not sleeping on her, and I'm just watching. I've been watching some of her past fights, the last one and then the one before that where she beat Santos. She's a strong girl. I'm telling you, she's strong. Like to say that, Amanda has the power advantage, I'm not too sure. I think it could be level.
It's a big shout, but there's basis to go off. I still think Amanda has the power advantage, but I'm not mad at that because it's close. The way against Ketlin Vieira, she knocked her out cold. Women don't do that.
Amanda does.
Okay, yeah, but Amanda's a unicorn. She's different. But like, there's only Cyborg can do that. Yeah. Amanda can do that. Nobody else is knocking people out cold.
She slept Vieira like that in round 1 as well.
Round one. And I was on that Ketlin Vieira train. I was like, this girl actually, she could challenge Amanda. Yeah. And then when I saw Aldana drop her,
that stops quickly.
And also Betch Correa as well.
Yeah. Yes, I saw the highlights. Yeah, I think she retired her.
Yeah, she retired her. No more.
No mas.
No more. No mas.
No mas.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You're not doing a good job of selling the fight, but I think, this is the difficulty with like a champion, because you don't know where they're at. Like literally, you don't know where they're at mentally. So, if you to say who am I going for, I'd probably go for Amanda. Would I say finish or? I don't know. I'll stick with Amanda. I'm not going to go with specifics, but Amanda. I'm not close to tonight. I might text you guys with my prediction, but Amanda to win.
Yeah. Going safe, playing safe, my guy.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think yeah. We can only take Amanda from her last fight. It's like we're talking about Shevchenko.
You're only as good as your last.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, I look at the last 2 fights. Pena just put her on blast.
Yeah.
She said she was nursing an injury going into that fight. Fair enough. The second one, there was a specific game plan for her to beat Pena. Specific game plan. She went southpaw.
Yeah.
She didn't not trust herself, but trust her skills in the normal orthodox position to be able to.
Wait, you said that's a bad thing?
No, I'm not saying this about me. She made adjustments.
Okay.
She made adjustments. So there's something else in her locker.
Yeah.
Now Aldana has seen that, so she's seen, okay, what I can do orthodox, what I can do southpaw.
Yeah.
What are the game plan? We know she likes to take her down. Nunes maybe needs to take her down because I think it was a boxing match. I don't think Nunes wants to do that. I really don't.
I think Aldana is a much better boxer than Pena. Pena is a slugger and Pena has heart. You have to give her that. But Aldana is clean with it. So if Amanda thinks I'm just going to bully you and whoever comes off last, like she did against Pena, comes off last, is going to happen in that first fight. Remember, they were just going, like, there was no technique. It was just back and forth. She does that against Aldana, she's going to sleep. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aldana is clean with it.
She won't do that. I don't think she will.
I'm just saying, I'm just calling out. If she gets trigger happy, you know, because she's a hunter. You know, she's a lioness. Says it, the name, lioness. And when she smells it, she goes in for the kill. And not necessarily doesn't have technique at the front of her head. Will just go in to kill. Where I think even if Aldana does a little bit of a Adesanya, a bit of a possum, and draws her in to do that, could be.
Okay, that's fine. But the last time we saw Amanda with somebody equal to her on the feet was Cyborg.
Oh yeah, I agree. But she had the power advantage of the Cyborg. She absolutely battered her.
But before, would you have said that before the first fight?
I think that was the only time where I thought, I'll be honest. Yeah, you got a good one there, and I was like, what I'm gonna say if he brings up Cyborg, because up to that point, I thought Cyborg had Amanda's number. I thought Cyborg would outpower her. I'll be honest.
Exactly. Yeah, because I thought going into that fight, I was like, oof, this is one. Like, it's only going one way here. And then when you see the two in the ring and you see the effects of the put, because Cyborg was hitting her.
Cyborg was hitting her, yeah.
But it didn't have the same impact.
But Cyborg underestimated her. I'm sorry, you can't.
I think so.
Knowing now, obviously hindsight's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
Knowing now, if Cyborg fought her again the first time at that day in that US, maybe it would have been different. Maybe you never know. But Cyborg just went in like she always does. And just tries to. That is the silliest thing to do, unless you're Pena.
Yeah.
To Nunes.
And on that, very good point. But come on, I'm looking at the stats now. That was 2018.
Yeah,
you know, that was, look how many years ago that was. So you can't say that that's the same Nunes. We've already talked about the evolution she's had to show and the fact that she's lost and so on and all the rest of it. And what is her mindset in even going into this fight? You know, the missus is pregnant. They've got another baby on the way as well. She's now, her camp isn't a camp. Her camp is just her own gym closed off. Yeah. Advantages, disadvantages to that. You know, you're not getting as many looks, but then you're sourcing your own sparring partners. But are those genuine sparring partners, or are those actual just yes people who are paid and want to stick around and don't want to do too much damage to you in the gym? So there's an accumulation of things. But that was 2018. I think it is a good shout out though, because I think that was the last time I genuinely didn't think Amanda would win. But but this time around, you know, just from seeing the build up and seeing how big she is, I think there's only an inch between them two somehow. Even though I think she's bigger, well, she looks bigger. I think Amanda still has a 1 inch reach advantage. God knows she must have super long arms. But I think side by side, Irene just looks bigger, just looks longer. Because when they do reach, they do arm reach. They don't do leg reach for some reason. I think they're missing a trick there. They should do both, because I think if in terms of kicks, I'd be very shocked if Amanda's got a longer reach than Irene, because she just looks long and big.
Oh, she is long, yeah. She's bigger in terms of body wise, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you saying then? What are you not saying? Because Amanda, as I said again, I'm qualifying that with saying we don't know where she's at, right?
Yeah.
But I still expect her to get the job done.
I'm going for a shock. You know what I mean? I like a passing of the torch. I think you raised a good point at the beginning. Sometimes you just need to know when it's the end of your she's been elevated for so long. She lost the belt, she won it back. Maybe could have been a good time to say I'm done. She's going again. Maybe this is the slide. I mean, this year's been nuts. All those, like you said, you brought up yourself all those legacy champions, the Shevchenkos, for example. They're not on top of the mountain, and they're not on top of the mountain anymore. And Irene, I think she's not young. She's not a spring chicken. I believe she's 35. But in the MMA game, I think she's only been training 10 years. So she only started at 25. So she's a fresher fighter. She's still learning. She's still evolving. From what I've seen, I'm excited by her. I think this is the better matchup in terms of competitiveness, rather than seeing Amanda go up versus Pena again. So I'm going for Irene. I think she needs to take her out I don't think you want to get in the championship rounds with Amanda because she's seasoned in that area. So I'm going for Irene. I'm going round 3, KO.
Chai. You know what? I thought I was going to be the one bringing the shots to the table today. I thought I was going to be. It's tight because I can easily see Amanda going out there and putting on a masterclass.
Of course.
And I can see Amanda taking her down. And I think actually that's where Amanda finishes the fight, if she takes her down and if she submits her. Yet, I am going for a shot as well. I am going for Irene Aldana.
Okay.
I'm also going for KO.
KO as well.
I am also going for KO, stoppage, and I'm going round 2. I think Amanda gets tired. I think she doesn't want the shots. And I think the hunger's gone. I think she's too comfortable. Just for the reasons you said, she's too comfortable. And I think Aldana has been maybe hunting her for a while, looking at different takes. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So much motivation. Her best mate as training partner's got a belt. She wants to take that picture where we've both got belts. We're both in the same gym. We're both Mexican. The whole narrative is there. I still very adamant that, and I think Dana has admitted it in one of the press conferences, that they've missed the whole trick not having a numbered card in Mexico this summer. That they haven't been able to sort out the logistics for that, because Mexico should be this should be in Mexico. The fact that it's in bloody Canada and Vancouver of all places, it's not Toronto. Vancouver's a cool place, but I wouldn't call it a fighting place.
Okay, yeah.
It's comfy, isn't it? Everyone, if you live in Vancouver, you're balling. It ain't working class, but yeah. So that's 2 shockers versus the status quo. Let's see what happens.
Let's see.
Now, the return of the Bronx. CharlieOlives is back on the co-main event lightweight bout against Mr. Deserved Beneil Dariush. Again, I'm excited by this one.
This is the main event for me, man. This is the main event for me. No disrespect to Nunes.
Yeah. I mean, it's changed, didn't it? It wasn't supposed to be what it was, so true.
Yeah. This has been pushed back, hasn't it?
Yeah, this was supposed to be on, I think it was the previous numbered card.
It has been pushed back, so... Yeah, I mean, again, watching the build up, they're both very godly gentlemen. Lots of references to Jesus and so on, and you've got to love that. Both very humble. You're not going to have any trash talking or any of that in the build up to the fight. They're both very respectful of each other. Obviously, Benny's been in the wings for so long. So many, when you go through his fight history, he could have fought some really big fights up to this point, but so many, he's just been unlucky with opponents getting injured and pulling out, and people don't want to fight him. There's a reason for that, because he's a tough opponent.
Yes.
He's one of those MMA guys who's just well-rounded everywhere. He throws hands now. He's not just a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not just a ground guy. He gets trigger happy on his hands, and he knocks people out. He's got power.
It does, but he's exposed. You can tell he's a little awkward. You can tell he's not a striker. You can tell, although his left hand is decent and it's quite, when it lands, but you can tell he's still a bit awkward, yeah.
But we're going against, again, Mr. Jiu-Jitsu himself. And again, another one who's he's happy with his hands. But if he gets on your back, CharlieOlives gets on your back, It's not nice. What are we going to see here? Are we going to see two very good jiu-jitsu guys stand up, or are we going to see a jiu-jitsu battle? Like, what are we going to see? What's the predictions?
I don't like this fight, you know. I don't.
You don't like it?
I just don't like this fight. This fight should never be made because I love both of these guys. I love it. And for that reason, and I think Beneil should be having a title shot now.
Yeah.
And I think Charles really is deserving of a rematch, is a direct rematch for the stuff that he did at lightweight.
Yeah.
Beneil fancies his chances on the ground. He thinks he's a better grappler, and he says that when it goes to the ground, he finishes Charles. That's bold. That's bold. He said it with chest as well, and he said it numerous times on different interviews. I don't know what you think.
This is my take on Beneil Dariush. Yeah, I think he is the modern day Tony Ferguson, although there's not that much difference between them. Not in the sense of fighting style, in the sense that their career trajectory is almost identical, right? In terms of the pile up these wins and get unlucky every single time they need to step up to the plate.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I can see him losing this and then just going off like a Tony Ferguson did, like just not even being able. How old is Beneil, by the way?
Beneil.
He looks old, but I don't think he's that.
No, he's one of those. He's just grey haired very early. He's not old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Hardy's wife called it salt and pepper Beneil.
Yeah, but like I'm seeing it very much like that. And when I saw this fight first announced initially, I was like, well, obviously Oliveira's going to win. That was my initial reaction. But as things are going, getting close, I'm like, you never know. It's obviously it's close. It's close. On the feet, I give the advantage to Oliveira.
33, by the way, only 33.
It's 33, yeah. So it's still young. On the ground, I'm not sure, and in transition, I'm not sure neither. Oliveira's just been in. He's been in the bigger fights. He's been in the more pressurized environments. Yes, Beneil's been chasing and climbing the mountain, but he hasn't had the experience that Oliveira's had over the past 3 years.
Yeah,
I think the whole career. Forgetting CharlieOlives has been around forever.
Yeah, but remember, he's been a champion. Like he's been on he's been in that environment where A, people are writing him off all the time.
Yeah.
And B, he's having to look behind him and see all these killers come up to try and get what he has. And I just think that environment just creates something else. And he knows he was deserving of a rematch. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but Beneil, is a top. Or he could go like Leon. Beneil, like it could be one of those two. Do you know what I mean? Like it could go and then win and then and not be beaten. But
I mean, at the moment, Benny's been on a 8-fight win streak.
Yeah.
Which is mad. It's similar to Leon, as you said.
Which is impressive. And obviously, CharlieOlives' last fight was the defeat to Makhachev. I agree. I think he should have got the instant, based on everything he did before. When you just go through his record of just win, and the names he was beating, he should have got an instant rematch. I completely agree with that. The fact that he's got to almost validate himself, and you've got the BMF guys also fighting for that next spot as well.
His children.
Yeah.
He's both. Exactly. It's a bit messy there. And I think Benny. I don't think CharlieOlives just said it, but Benny said, "I've been told by the UFC if I win it, I'm next."
You take that with a pinch of salt.
But no one else has been told that. CharlieOlives hasn't said that, and I saw an interview with Dustin and Justin, and they didn't mention that. They just said, "Oh, the rankings are there, but you can't go off the rankings. You just never know what the UFC are going to do." Where Benny's come out and said that specifically, so that tells me if they were all saying it, you'd be like, which one's telling the truth? But if only one out of the 4 of them saying it, then you've got to believe the guy who's saying it.
Yeah, but I think he's pushing for it, because let's face it, him, Beneil, and Islam, that's selling 0 pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I don't believe that. It could be true, but I don't believe that that's what they'll go for if that happens.
I think if he beats CharlieOlives, it's always going to be about style, though. You know what Dana's like as well. You can't just beat him; it can't be boring. If he beats him, and it's like whoa, or you've got the pundits who are going with the meme reactions, then he's gonna get it. But if it's a boring, or it's a split decision, or it's tight or something like that, then I agree with you. You take it away. But if he beats him, if he's, for example, if he submits CharlieOlives, the way Makhachev did, or if he knocks him out into the shadow realm, then of course I would warrant it. I would say, boom, he's next.
Yeah.
But if he just beats him and it's controversial, all the rest of it, then I agree with you. I think it's unfair to say it won't sell. I think it's a purist fight. I think if you're if you like fights, if you're a fighter's fighter, you'll watch it. But if you're a casual, you'll be like, who's this Beneil guy? For sure. So I get that in terms of the pay-per-views and stuff. Which is why if it's in Abu Dhabi, obviously Abu Dhabi, the money and everything, they're going to stack up that card anyway. So people,
or you could put it on under like the Conor and thing fight. There's ways you could do it. There's ways you could definitely do it to get eyeballs. Yeah. So
it's not going to be purely on just Beneil, is it? They're going to stack up that card. For me personally, watching the build up, I agree with Mardi. I do like both gentlemen. Not going to lie. Something in my I don't know where I was talking about Irene and all the science that I think is going to make her win it. With Beneil, I'll be completely honest. The one thing I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to win now. He keeps wearing Monster logo t-shirts. I'm like, child of God. So for me, it's going straight to Do Bronx, man. Charlie's got this.
Yeah. But even from a pure skill set point of view, I think if it's like you said, the question was, how do we think it's going to be? Is it going to be a stand up or is it going to be on the ground? If it's a stand up, I think it's night and day.
Oh, CharlieOlives is on another level. I agree.
Yeah. Oh, do you not agree?
Who do you say is another level?
CharlieOlives.
CharlieOlives.
I don't know.
Are you serious?
I'm being serious. I don't know. I really don't know, because we say that, but in terms of stand up, we've seen CharlieOlives getting beaten in rounds and stand up to Makhachev, to Gaethje, to Dustin. It's only Chandler that, even Chandler, man, he lost that round to Chandler. Literally, he's been losing these stand ups. He has, but it's just because out of nowhere he gets this power.
That's the thing. It's not out of nowhere. It's technique.
It's technique, but he loses and he puts himself in positions where actually, if you take the finish away from them, and if you just judge the fight, 3 out of those 4 fights, he's losing.
But it's always the opening round though. It's always the opening round, and we already covered this. He wears glasses. He only just got his laser eye surgery recently. He needs his head to be beaten a few times so he can adjust his vision. So just allow him. It's always the first. I agree. The first one, it always looks a bit, what's going on? He's going to get beaten. But then after that, he's fine. If you watch his fights, he's not getting knocked down in the second or the third rounds, and then by that time he's ended them anyway. I think his stand up is night and day. You can see it in terms of his technique, his elbows, his knees. He's got more to give. Beneil doesn't have as much armor in terms of stand up. I haven't seen him use kicks the way CharlieOlives does, or the knees down the pipe, or the elbows. I haven't seen that in Beneil.
Yeah.
Dude, I just don't think it's that drastic of a difference. I still think Charlie's is better, but. And then on the ground, you see, I see Beneil. I actually see Beneil winning this. Yeah. But I'm still going to go to CharlieOlives because I'm playing it safe. I am. I see there's ways Beneil can win this. I see there's ways Beneil knocks Oliveira out. I do. No. And I see. No. What do you mean no? What do you mean no? We've seen Oliveira go down.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Beneil doesn't have a one-punch concussive power.
No, he literally does. And we're not seeing that overhand left that he's been knocking people out with.
No, man, that one was a cumulative. That was his last fight with that guy. I forget the name. His last knockout.
Gamrot. But that wasn't knockout though, I don't think.
Yeah, it went to decision, but he did knock him down. I think.
But
again, it was one very big left hook, and there was lots of accumulative punches, but he didn't put him away because obviously it went to decision.
Yeah, and we figured out you don't want to put CharlieOlives down, you don't and let him up again.
But Beneil's brown. I can see Beneil submitting him. I really do. Do you know what? I might actually change my decision.
Just stick to it. I personally, like I said, I'm going to stick to my initial gut feel when this fight was announced. I was like, obviously, Oliveira is going to win. So I'm going to stick to that as being the primary reason.
For me, Charlie must win, or it's for me, just go away.
Yeah,
must for me, it's must win for me. I think Beneil can lose and still, like you said, still do a Leon and come back. I think with Charlie, if you want to get that belt back, you have to win. You ain't got time to be messing about. You need to put Beneil away and then get that rematch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's winning the rematch, but I just think if he lose, because there's already talk that he's not even gonna get the rematch if he wins this. So if he doesn't win,
which is
exactly. So if he doesn't win it, how much further away is he from it? How many fights?
It put both of them.
I'm being honest. I see Oliveira knocking him out. You know,
Same. I think he'll
like round 2 or 3 knockout.
Personally, I think he'll be submission. I think again the ego. He'll want to submit him because he was like, "Oh, you want to play jiu-jitsu?" He'll want to submit him.
Yeah,
I think so. He'll want to maybe knock him down. Go typical CharlieOlives, knock him down, go down to the ground with him, get his back, game over.
I see. Like I'm just thinking of all the fights I've seen of Beneil. Like he's not at that.
Don't underrate him though.
I'm not.
I think you're underrating him though. I think you don't. Yeah, as much as I think Charlie's going to win, I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. And back to Marty's point, Charlie likes to make it a little bit difficult for himself. He likes to go through the grind to get to the other side.
Yeah.
It's what does Beneil have to capitalize when he'll be on top at one point? Of course he will. Everybody has a moment against CharlieOlives, unfortunately. It's like, I don't know if he's a slow starter, but there's always something in him where you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
And I'm just thinking the way he finished Gaethje, the way yeah, man, he's only lost to Islam, and who doesn't lose to Islam? Like literally, like what? Do you know what I mean? Like if we were to take that Islam fight away and just hide it behind like a black curtain, and you look at all the people he's beaten, you're like, out of these two, who's gonna win? I don't think we're talking in the same way, you know. Genuinely, I don't think we're talking the same way.
No, when you look at the records, I agree. Like apart from what Beneil beat Gambot last time, decision, unanimous. Before that, it was Ferguson. He just bodied Tony Ferguson again, decision, unanimous. Again, didn't knock him out though. But then, yeah, I agree. If you take away Makhachev, you look at CharlieOlives' record, you got Gaethje, you got Dustin,
you got everyone.
You got Chandler, you got Ferguson, you got Lee. It's just win, win, win. All I do is win, win, win. No matter what, just the names. It's just crazy. And the way he's winning, like they're not going to decisions. They're all sub. The Ferguson went to decision, but that was so one-sided. He should have just ended. Submission, TKOs, and then yeah. So this isn't going to go to a decision for me because CharlieOlives won't let it.
Yeah, because I think underrated Charlie because of how he lost, of which we all knew he was going to lose that fight. Like I don't know who.
I didn't bet for him. I didn't predict him.
Like in that Islam fight,
Oh yeah, well, actually we all.
Exactly.
No, we didn't. Where is it?
Oh, you haven't recorded it on here. I don't know if it's recorded it on here, but.
It was last year. No, it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. October 2022.
Like at least for me, it was very obvious what was going to happen.
Only you said Makhachev.
Oh my!
Only you said Makhachev. And you know what? No, I knew what Makhachev. I didn't Makhachev.
You're forgetting we love CharlieOlives, man.
Yes, and I think if they fight again, it could be a different story.
No,
and let me say this. These two are the only two people that could potentially dethrone Makhachev. Nobody else in the lightweight division is anywhere close. I'm telling you, the styles of Beneil Dariush, the styles of CharlieOlives, these are the only two people that can. I don't know what these BMF guys are trying to face because they just compete for the BMF title. That's it. If any of those two go in the cage with Makhachev, it's over. Come on, they've beaten him in the cage with Khabib. Nah. But,
yeah, I agree. In terms of anyone being competitive, it's between these two. The other two, Makhachev will body them in a round and a half.
Yeah,
a round and a half. It would be light work.
But the way Khabib was talking, initially Islam was supposed to fight Dariush. I can't remember which card it was.
Yeah.
And the way Khabib was talking about that fight was just hilarious. Please, honestly, if you've got nothing to watch, like Khabib talking about how that fight, he thinks that fight is going to go. Honestly, it was hilarious. But
he wasn't giving
Dariush any chance at all. He was like, you're going to see, I think he was talking to DC. You know how him and DC have banter back and forth. So, yeah, trust me, guys, if you've got time.
Man, he's disrespectful. Nah, I'm telling you, baby.
Anyway, so the fight at hand, yeah, to these two, I think, yeah, as I say, I think Oliveira by knockout, I think, personally.
What are you picking around?
No, to avoid any.
Just for a little ego bonus point, innit?
Yeah, bonus. Half a point bonus you get.
It's a 5-round fight, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a 5-round? Is it a 5-round fight?
It should
Come
be.
on,
No,
man.
I don't think it is.
What?
it's got to be.
I don't think it's a 5-round fight.
Really?
It's got to be.
I've just made the assumption it is because it's co-main.
Same. I made the assumption it is as well.
All right, we'll get back to you on that because it doesn't actually say how many rounds. It just says co-main lightweight bout on the card.
Okay. If it's 5 rounds, I think if it's 5 rounds, round 3. If it's 3 rounds, round 2.
Okay. It doesn't say, does
Yeah,
it?
it doesn't mention. So I think let's if it's 3 rounds, let's stick to round 2 knockout Oliveira. But then I can see it being a decision win as well. Okay, I'm sticking to knockout. Let's stick to that. Knockout Oliveira knockout.
What round did you say? Round 2?
Yeah.
I've just got a bad feeling. Not a bad feeling because I do like Beneil and I also want Beneil to win as well. I really do.
Yeah.
But I've got a bad feeling that CharlieOlives goes 0-2.
Yeah.
I really do. But if I play it safe for the leaderboard of this, if it's a
Play
play
it.
safe, I might pick Oliveira because that's just the safe thing to do. I've already made one.
One out there. You can't have both. You could never get them both right, can you?
But the one, it's tight, man.
Yeah, but then if you pick Beneil, you'd be like, "I told you so." I'm not surprised, mother babas.
I'm gonna say that anyway, even if I pick Oliveira because I'm already picking Oliveira. But
No, pick what you think. Don't forget the points.
I'm
Forget the
doing
points.
it.
Forget
I
the
actually
points.
think Beneil does it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I've been watching too much Beneil stuff, but I think Beneil does it.
How does it? I don't think
Beneil
I don't think it's a
submission.
decision. Okay.
Beneil submission.
Okay.
Beneil submission round 3. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry. There we go.
But yeah.
I'm going 2.5 minutes into the second round. Submission, CharlieOlives.
Yeah.
Weird naked choke. Knocks him down, goes down, finishes him off. Standard CharlieOlives style.
Yeah.
Fair dues.
Yeah. And I think that's the safest bet, to be honest with you, because he's coming off. He's got something to prove. As you say, he's got to win. Otherwise, it's just back at the long queue. So yeah, man. Yeah. But in terms of the overall card, it stinks though.
Oh, yeah. It stinks of mackerel. It's I don't even want, if there's any surprises in the review show, we obviously cover it. But where we usually do honorable mentions, I'm not doing it for this card.
Same. There isn't any
Nah.
that stands out.
Not for me.
Nah, there isn't any that stands out.
It's because it's in Canada, so they've got the pack's full with a lot of Canadian fighters. Mike Muller, who I tried
Don't start.
That's it. No, I'm telling you. Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I'm excited about. We'll get there We'll get there. Obviously, 291. I'm very excited to cover that one.
Same.
Very excited. So, our UFC 289 show. Some controversial picks there. I'm sure we'll be back together to chew on the fat of what will hopefully be a magnificent co-main main event in Vancouver, Canada, this Saturday, June the 10th. Let's go. This is the King's Court. All 3 Kings back together again, baby.
Building.
Come on.
We're a month away from our 2-year anniversary. We'll probably celebrate during International Fight Week, claiming that International Fight Week was set up to celebrate us and not the UFC. Why not? This has been your guy, Obasogi in the building.
APL.
Guy Marty.
Oba and out.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, so.